Hi everyone, welcome to BrickVault. This is Mike and welcome to the Top 10 MOCs video, a Sunday video where we show our favorite LEGO creations from the passing week. This is somewhat of a top 10 fashion, but you can of course disagree. Number 1 for you can be better than number 10. Also, at the end of the episode, we have something called the Fan MOCs section where we show your awesome LEGO creations that you guys are sending to our BrickVault Fan MOCs email. All the rules and the email to submit your MOCs can be found in the video description below. And before we get into this week's awesome MOCs, I want you guys to check out our web store at www.brickvault.toys where we offer some awesome creations. Now we have added the latest one of the biggest ones actually, that is the T800 bus, the Terminator bust if you will, by talented Martin Lara. And instructions and parts are available in our web store for this awesome MOC. Jack made a full-on video on this guy, so I'm gonna leave a link below if you wanna check it out. And from me, I gotta say that must be one of the creepiest and at the same time coolest MOCs that we offer in our web store as of now. Alright, moving into the episode, here is number 10, and this is a superb micro build from no one else but Ralph Langer, a very talented builder. The title for this MOC is Time to Reflect, and if that is not the coolest micro depiction of a medieval life, I do not know what is. First of all, I have to commend him for the part usage and the creativity in this MOC. You can see some crazy techniques used, especially for the rooftop of the church, and I like how the whole scene is irregular, there is no symmetry in it, but that makes it this much more realistic. A very cool way to use the 1x1 side printed plates from Minecraft for those building windows in the village. There is also the use of green claw pieces, the plates with claws for the tree or foliage elements in the bottom. And if you look closely, he even made a water reflection for the buildings by the shoreline. Very awesome, very creative. I love finding such builds, and for my micro scale extravaganza, I think this build fits right in. Number 9 is entirely different. This one is coming from a Red Space Cat, and this build is titled the A32 Raven Light Attack Aircraft. It's a version of the A32 Sky Racer, a build from this designer from some time ago. And as you can tell, this one is more of a military version. A sleek looking full-on black aircraft with some very cool design. He also used some custom stickers portraying that it's affiliated with a US Air Force perhaps. And this thing comes with a full-on load of weaponry of different kinds. I'm gonna leave a link below to the album of this awesome aircraft on Flickr. Red Space Cat did some great photography on that one and also some awesome Photoshop shots portraying this aircraft in different action situations. The MOC is simple but the presentation is excellent, so definitely highly recommend it. We are still in somewhat of a holiday season, so for number 8 I have a Santa for you, and there are many different Santas for this season made by different builders, but this one definitely was stuck in my mind for a while. This one is coming from O. Wingard, and the title is simply he's making a list and checking it twice. That must be one of the best builds for a Santa's face I have ever seen. I love how he used the magnifying glass pieces for his binoculars. The way he looks in the camera is also, well, telling you about the possibly Nautilus for him. I like the sweater build, the way he holds the pen and the arms build, and that little teddy bear next to the present at the bottom deserves its own praise. Very cool build and quite unique because everybody seemed to portray Santa in his red outfit. This one is more of a Santa's North Pole office outfit if you will, and the pose and the shot is simply excellent, so very much worth this week's list. For number 7 I have something that was clearly inspired by the Ninjago City and maybe some cyberpunk to that, coming from a Polish builder Sebastian Bachurzewski. This is the Layers City, and it has those Ninjago City set vibes because at the very lowest level you have some sort of a sewers or very dark places that you would not be really wandering into. You can see some scavengers hill, people trying to survive. Then in the middle we have some sort of a lower end street, and this one has the most cyberpunk post-apocalyptic vibes to it. You can see a bunch of awesome minifigures dressed up as they were in the cyberpunk genre. Futuristic vehicles, there is some sort of green goo being transported, might be some sort of a material or resource that is a currency in this weird city. A lot of stickers and prints coming from Ninjago as well, there's Garmad on one of the posts. And overall I really love the level of detail in this section, it's pretty awesome. And then on the top we have an entirely different world, that is the sushi restaurant, which gives you the vibes from Ninjago City set because there was a sushi restaurant at the top. And this section is the most clean, more of a high life type. You can see possibly wealthy citizens traversing the streets. The building is very clean, there is some sort of a sensor array at the top. a lot of advertisements on the side wall, and overall it is a massive contrast compared to the other two sections of this vertical build. It is a very nice depiction of a future dystopian world, if you will, and in that way the build is very, very appealing. Number 6, I think, is the most bizarre one in this week's lineup. This one is coming from no one else but Shio, one of my favorite builders, and the title is simply Rot. Now, you can just interpret what it actually is. I have no idea. It seems like some sort of a quite disgusting alien world or a creature just rotting in some sort of an unknown space location. But while you consider what it actually is, I've gotta commend the awesome building techniques that were used here. First of all, this carcass of the creature or whatever that is, it's bent in the middle, so it looks unnatural, maybe a bit different than your usual build. Then we have a bunch of those red tentacles showing some sort of flesh coming through it, a very dark looking and almost Lovecraftian, if you will, black mass or an array of tentacles coming from the front of it, and the whole ball in the middle using a great technique with the droid arms and the tires, plus the Death Star mold that was coming in one of those weird small Star Wars sets back in the days. These all together are forming a sort of a spaceship or drone that is trying to extract something from this carcass. I have no idea what it is, but you can still interpret yourself. I do really appreciate the quality of this build and that it leaves a lot of questions and brings up your imagination, I guess. And I'm gonna keep saying that if you have not seen any of the Shio's builds before, I highly recommend checking out the Flickr page linked below, because that is one of the most bizarre and most talented builders you can find on the platform. For number 5, I wanna come back to somewhat of a Christmas build. This one is a Gingerbread Express from Team BrickVault. Throughout the years, many people were taking the classic holiday train set from LEGO and trying to customize it in different ways. It was just a matter of time for this one to show up. This is fully on gingerbread train, and the colorfulness of it and just this sweet feel you see looking at it is just awesome. First, the locomotive with the gingerbread man in charge. A lot of cool little details here with a lot of lollipops and very just colorful things to show how sugary it is. Then we have a small train car with a cup of maybe milk, warm milk or coffee, and a cookie and some sort of sugar canes. The third one has an actually rotating gingerbread cookie in form of a tree. And at the very end we have, well, a gingerbread house. Warm and mellow build for the Christmas holiday season, and might be as well the most festive build of this episode. Number 4 is for all you Overwatch fans. The sets from LEGO officially are around the corner, and this one coming from LEGO 7 is the Winston build. Everything that comes from this designer is high quality, and I always like to see new builds from him. Overwatch Winston is quite a big build. You can see the shapes of his body, even the face are captured quite nicely. He is holding his massive cannon both in the hands, and you can actually attach it to his bag, and the whole thing is quite posable, like you would expect from an action game character. A lot of cool pictures on his Flickr page. I'm gonna leave a link below if you wanna check it out. And just looking at this, I wish LEGO went into the realm of maybe building those such big characters actually in forms of sets, like they did with the BB-8 for Star Wars and, for example, the Porg. I think that would be a quite good line to go with. Number 3 is coming from the builder named LEGO Fan. This is the Knight's Hall, and I think it wins the award for the best interior for this episode. Very nice build, a corner build if you will, in minifigure scale. If you look closely, there is a bunch of Easter eggs hidden in the picture. A small doggy is, well, trying to scare off the ghost just behind that knight's armor. I think there is also another sort of a ghost trying to escape through the window in one of those opening windows. There is a girl decorating the stone statue above the chimney, some sort of an epic sword just above the chimney. The whole fireplace has a light brick in it, so it does light up. And I also love the build for that carpet and those castle-looking chairs, if you will. Plus, the whole place actually seems quite cozy. And I guess apart from the ghosts haunting you, I wouldn't mind spending a Christmas Eve in there. Going up to number 2, we have CK1981 and his ship named the Solomon and Guggenheim. I think this one would qualify under the September build, being over 100 studs long. And what I can commend about this build is the use of gribbling in different places, making it look quite unique in every single portion of the ship. I like that he used the printed United tile from the Saturn V NASA Lego set. There's even the use for the Iron Man's tile printed in one of the sections of the build, and a bunch of good prints usages. I think I can spot some from the Ninjago movie mechs, and they all work specifically well with the color combination of red and and white. Oh, and there is the Solomon and Guggenheim printed tile from the architecture set of the same name. So I guess I know where the inspiration came from. Great build for the bridge area, with the back elements coming from the ice tank from Ninjago movie. And well, that is one of those ships you can just look into and find new details every time you go in. And the number one spot for this week's top 10 mocks I'm gonna give to Alex de Jong for his Tinkerbell build. Some numbers here to sink in. This build is 1 meter 5 centimeters tall and has an estimate of 10,000 Lego parts. It took about 5 months to design and build, and this thing comes apart into 10 different sections for transportation, and according to the designer can be assembled back in a matter of few minutes. Quite an impressive build. The classic look of Tinkerbell is captured pretty much perfectly, and I like the fact that he used a combination of studded looks along with a lot of slopes for the main parts of her body. This combination makes it look that much more realistic. I mean, realistic, it's overall a fairy tale character, but still, it looks pretty good. And I wonder how he made those wings from transparent pieces that they actually hold up in that massive size. Anyhow, I'm gonna leave a link to his full gallery right below, because there's a lot of different pictures and angles for this character. And overall, I am quite impressed with the effort and dedication that went towards this build. Alright guys, and that's gonna be it for this week's top 10 mocks video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's selection. I know I did choosing those mocks for you. Let me know in the comment section below which one is your favorite. And now it's time to show off your fan creations. You guys are sending some awesome things to our BrickVault fan mocks email. If you wanna submit more for next week's episode, all the rules and the email for that is right below in the description. Thank you so much for watching again. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, click the like and click the bell button to get notified for every single video of ours. Enjoy your fan creations guys. It was Mike and I'll see you next time on BrickVault.